Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars Assassin's Creed Origins. I've had this game now a number of weeks. I think I'm in a really good position now to give you some feedback on this game. I don't like rushing games like this. I've put probably about 25 hours into this game now, probably even a little bit more, and I think I'm in a good position to give you some feedback and give you a decent review on this game. Assassin's Creed Origins then. Well, we are all familiar, and probably to a certain degree many of us over familiar with the Assassin's Creed series. I have played and enjoyed to varying degrees all the Assassin's Creed games, but I think it's fair to say none of them have absolutely captivated me and made me want to play through the whole game and drawn me in completely. I don't think any of those games have done it previously, the Assassin's Creed games, but I do think they are very, very well made games, generally speaking, apart from the obvious ones that have had their issues. Unity, for example. So we all know Ubisoft took a year off. Well, they never really took a year off because they released the Ezio collection to try and get a bit of coinage through the door last year while there was a gap before a new Assassin's Creed game. But they released this last year in 2017, Assassin's Creed Origins, in the hope to reboot the series, reinvent the series. And what have they done with this series? Well, to a large degree, I feel they have succeeded with everything that they've tried to do with this game. I'm not going to lie here, I'm absolutely thoroughly enjoying my time with this game. Now, I'm a huge RPG fan. Witcher 3 is my favourite game of all time. I think that game is an absolute work of genius, and I think it's fairly clear from the people that have made this game that they have looked at games like Witcher 3 and Skyrim and Dragon Age and a lot of these open world RPGs, and they've thought, right, okay, we're going to make a story based, story driven RPG with the Assassin's Creed thing. And that is simply put what we get with this game. To say it's anything but isn't true, really. This game has an RPG engine. It feels very, very much like an RPG to me, and I think that's the reason I'm enjoying it so much. It feels like The Witcher 3 in an Assassin's Creed universe, and I think it's perfectly fair to make those comparisons. They are in a lot of ways similar games. Yes, I know the settings are different, I know the characters are different, a lot of the mechanics are different, but it plays and feels very, very similar, right down to the question marks on the map. I really, really like the way that Ubisoft have designed this open world. The way I used to play Witcher basically is I would be at some point on the map, I'd go and do a quest somewhere on the map, I'd do the quest and then I'd go to the map and have a look what's around me, and you'd see a number of question marks within your vicinity, so you felt compelled to go and have a look what those question marks were. And that's what made you want to complete a game like Witcher 3, was that endearing quality and that almost unbearable need to know what those question marks were. And they've been very smart in this game. They've done exactly the same thing. You go to the map, you will see there's question marks all over the map, and you just got to know what they are, along with quests everywhere. You don't have to now synchronize on top of buildings to open up areas anymore. You can go anywhere you want, but it's not necessarily recommended because, as per RPGs, you could go to the far end of the map, but you will be killed in single shots by the enemies because you might be level 5 and they might be level 40, so you're not going to last very long. So I think right now in the game, I think I'm level 31 in the game, I think so. So I can go most areas of the map now reasonably safely. There are still some that are a bit dodgy. But early on in the game, it kind of gently moves you in certain directions of the map, but it doesn't prevent you from going anywhere you want, which is very, very clever thing to do. What they've done is they've made this game feel very familiar in regards to the Assassin's Creed. A lot of the sounds, a lot of the noises that you hear remind you very much of Assassin's Creed. You've got your hidden blade, etc. when you finally get it. But they have genuinely reinvented the series here. They've changed the combat. The combat feels vastly different than Assassin's Creed previously. I didn't dislike the combat in previous Assassin's Creed games. I thought it looked pretty cool at times, but it did get a bit repetitive and boring. This combat in this game is really quite challenging at times, but never fails, or should I say, it never gets what I would say is boring. The combat in the game, it's very much like the combat in Witcher. You've got light attack, strong attack, dodging. You can parry, and you do some special moves here and there. But it isn't like previous combat. For those that are truly in love with the combat in previous Assassin's Creed games, you might find this game a bit of a letdown in regards to the combat. I loved it. I took to it straight away because it was very Witcher 3-like. Yes, that is a chocobo. That's another thing about this game. It's full and chock full of little surprises. I found this side mission in the game. I forget the name of it now. But it ended up being where I ended up getting some gear, a sword, a shield, and a chocobo from Final Fantasy 15. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, because that's Square Enix and this is Ubisoft. I don't know how. They must have come to some arrangement, but there was a Final Fantasy mission in this game, and I ended up with a chocobo, and that's me riding a chocobo. So there you go. Anybody wanting to do that mission, I think you have to be about level 22, 23 to do it. So it's full of lovely little surprises here. The need as well to constantly buy and upgrade your weapons. You've got swords, you've got spears, you've got heavy axes, things like that. You've got bow and arrows. You've got different types of arrows, like light arrows, predator arrows, hunter bows, and they all have different effects. The light arrows fire out really fast arrows. The hunter ones, exactly what it says on the tin, for hunting. The predator ones are for like long distance. And the arrow play in this game, the bow and arrow combat is excellently done. In fact, all the combat I think is excellently done, and I couldn't give the game any faults, only plaudits for the way they've handled the combat. It's a vast improvement, and it makes the game much more interesting and at times much more challenging. And again, it's RPG mechanics with the weapons and the costumes, especially the weapons. You can you're constantly looking for a better weapon with better stats, but if you find a weapon that you really like, you can constantly keep upgrading it, so that you can the first sword that you get, if you want to keep upgrading it as you level up, you can do. It just costs in-game money, not real money, to upgrade it at vendors. And that comes to what everybody's been talking about with this game, the microtransactions. And is anybody really surprised here? This is Ubisoft. Ubisoft are just one gentle nudge away from being, you know, the new EA in regards to their business practices. They aren't fully committed to it yet. They are doing it. They've been doing it for a number of years, and they do it again here. Yes, there's microtransactions. You can buy Helix credits to buy weapons and armor and experience and all that kind of stuff to give you an advantage in the game. And there's even loot crates within the game as well, where you can cheat and buy better weapons, etc. But I'll be honest, I've not spent a penny in the game yet, and I've not noticed that I needed to. So it's not in your face like other games. It's there if you want to use it. Why would you want to use it? God only knows. I would urge you greatly not to, because I think it would ruin the experience of the game, because you will get better and more skilled as you progress through the game, and that's how I've found the game to be. So you don't need to buy the loot boxes, loot crates, microtransactions. Waste of money, completely, I would say. But I have to say, I'm really enjoying my time with Assassin's Creed Origins. Yes, I've come across my fair share of bugs. It's a huge open world. It's to be expected. And I do say a huge open world. I've not even explored every area of the map yet. I'm probably about maybe 70% through the map, but I haven't gone everywhere yet. It is truly enormous, the open world, and it's beautifully crafted. Well, I think one of the prettiest, most beautiful games I've ever seen. The location is beautifully rendered, beautifully created, and it really is stunning to look at, guys. I really cannot give it any faults graphically, other than an occasional bug here and there, but I've not had any game crashing bugs, and nothing worse than Witcher when I first got that, or any other large open world game like GTA, etc. They all have bugs, but they all get ironed out with patches. So I do think this game is a huge success for Ubisoft, and I think the reboot that they've given Assassin's Creed, I think, is to be applauded. I think the majority of what they've done works. The mission structure is very good. Yes, some of the side missions you could argue are a bit tedious and a bit boring, but some of them are actually very good too. And the main quest itself has been accused of being a little bit dull and boring. It's pretty by the book, by the numbers. It's a simple kind of revenge story that just kind of gets expanded upon. But it's okay. I mean, I can't really say any of the story in the Assassin's Creed games have been anything special, personally. But it's enough to keep me interested throughout the game. I can't say the story is anything shockingly bad or amazingly brilliant. It's just a story. So yeah, if you've been having any doubts about this game, don't. It's really good quality. I'm really enjoying it, and this will definitely probably be the first Assassin's Creed that I feel compelled to finish, because like I say, I'm a long way into the game and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a very good game, well made, high quality, and yeah, I can't say any more about it really. I'll give this game a solid 8 out of 10. I think you've got to take into consideration the business practices in regards to the microtransactions and the loot crates, and if it weren't for them, again, I would score it probably higher, because it's high quality, this game. It's a really good single player campaign with a fantastically rendered and beautiful open world, and I think they have successfully revamped the Assassin's Creed, and I'm really looking forward to what they're going to give us next, because they're just going to add layers and build onto what they've created in this game. So definitely worth getting this game, guys. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm sure if you give it a go you will too. Thanks for watching.